Contracting, Edward Jones Financial, Lamb Motors, Owyhee Federal Credit Union, Todd's Electric, and the South Dakota Office of Attorney General Division of Consumer Protection.
Rebound tipped around, and it's going to be grabbed by the Golden Eagles. They go down the floor with 7 seconds to go. Pass for Fritz, lost the handle of the ball. It's grabbed by Guinness with 2 seconds to go. The time will run out, and the Governors will win it 53-51.
And now to the booth we go for Pierre Governor Basketball.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Pierre Governors Basketball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. We are on the road for a magnitude 10 game as your 15th seeded Pierre Governors get ready to face off with the 2nd seeded Brandon Valley Lynx in the boys basketball SoDak 16. Welcome inside the broadcast area. My name is Dylan Simmons and welcome to Brandon, South Dakota, where we are set for a game of epic proportions where destiny and legacy will collide with a spot in the state tournament on the line. Your Pierre Governors have had ups and downs this season, but through it all they have remained true to themselves and their ability. And now they feel as though that they have an opportunity to put together all the puzzle pieces as they face their biggest test of the year. The Brandon Valley Lynx, after all, are 17-3 and hot off an appearance in the state championship game last season. They are as motivated as any team to go out and perform in the postseason, which gives Pierre all the more incentive to go out and give it everything they have this afternoon. If you want to make the state tournament, you have to play your best basketball right now, and that is what the Governors have to find a way to do this afternoon. Time and time again this season, Pierre has been right on the cusp of greatness, but has not been able to make it happen. This is their last chance to get everything right, and as Coach Kusler would say, what time is better than right now? Pierre is 6-14 entering this game and the number 15 seed in the SoDak 16. Last year, Pierre lost in the SoDak 16 to the Washington Warriors by a score of 52-47. That kind of single-digit loss, it can be disappointing, but it can also serve as an inspiration for a team if they use it in the right way. As far as this season is concerned, Pierre's been on the verge of greatness all year long, and a lot of that has to do with Luke Olson and Dawson Getz. Their play has been the deciding factor in a number of games, and if they can get one more player or maybe even 2 more players to go along with them with a great performance in their own right, this team is very, very hard to contend with. The Brandon Valley Lynx suffered 3 losses this season, with all of them coming at home, surprisingly enough. Their losses have been to Jefferson, Harrisburg, and Lincoln. However, in all of their final 8 games, the Lynx won by 14 or less. They have won a lot of close games thus far this year. Sometimes that kind of style just not sustainable in the postseason. Will that be the case today? That remains to be seen. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach of the Brandon Valley boys basketball team, Mr. Craig Nelson, right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. We'll be back in 3 with more SoDak 16 coverage.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Has it been years since you've been to the dentist? Are you afraid to see a dentist? If so, you are among many people who feel this way. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer of Missouri River Dentistry. At our office, we pride ourselves as an office that uses a personal touch to offer gentle dentistry, tailored to fit each patient's needs. We do so by utilizing state-of-the-art equipment and methods which allow the patients to feel comfortable. So whether it has been many years or 6 months since your last dental visit, your oral health is important. We invite you to call us at Missouri River Dentistry, 223-2021, 223-2021.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons here, and I'm joined by the head coach of the Brandon Valley Boys basketball team, Mr. Craig Nelson. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
All right, first question for you. To start things off, you guys got all the way to the state championship game a year ago against Mitchell, came up just 1 point short. Are you and the players using that as motivation as we head into the postseason this time around?
It feels so long ago at this point that, it's not something that, I don't even know if these guys thought about it early in the season, much less, lately. Maybe it helps in your off-season stuff where you can kind of remind them of that and that feeling you had. But certainly it's a brand new season, brand new crop of guys, so you got to get it done again.
Certainly. Now, conversely, when you have that kind of postseason success, it can sometimes feel like there may be some added pressure. How do you guys keep on track and focused on the task at hand with all that on your mind?
Again, some returners, I'd say it just gives you the experience of, what it takes. They've kind of been through the ringer of AA basketball, but I don't feel any pressure with these guys, and it's just their demeanor and kind of the next day mentality or next game mentality, and so hopefully we can show that today.
Certainly a game-ready attitude, Coach. Now, the Lynx did play Pierre earlier this season in this venue, and it was a pretty competitive game most of the way through. Is there anything that you and your team have learned from that game that you're going to use in this one?
Just learned that Pierre's a good basketball team. Two guys were really good against us that game, and I feel like we got to do a little bit better job against those guys. They offensive rebounded really well in that game, so we got to box out better.
Certainly, they provide a lot of challenges. Now, you have a defense that has done a great job in many occasions at shutting down opposing offenses this year. Against Pierre, how can you get that done today?
Yeah, just show a little bit of extra help for those two really good players. It's your coverages you've seen all year, right? Whether that's ball screen coverages or how you're going to handle, double screens and things like that. And our guys just got to execute it, be physical enough and tough enough to fight through stuff and to box out and make sure we're one and done.
Well, execution is always important, Coach. Now, how important will it be for your team to get off to a fast start in this game and possibly dictate the pace throughout the remainder of the game?
I don't know that the fast start is such a thing. Sometimes in these SoDak games, everybody tries to play so fast and so out of control, and you try to accomplish it all in one possession. It's like, hey, you just got to grind out one possession at a time and do your job there, rather than trying to do too much in one possession or too much early in these games. So let the game come to you. Do what you've always done all season. You don't get out of character with that.
Sometimes it is better to be methodical, Coach. And the last thing that we have to talk about is this Rockets crowd that's going to be on hand for you guys today. How big of an impact do you expect them to make in this game?
Yeah, I hope we see a great crowd today, and I hope we give them reasons to be loud and energetic and get on our side and help us get a win today.
Should be a fun one, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in 3 minutes right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel with more SoDak 16 coverage.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Rev up your drive with Capital City Ford in Pierre. Dive into our impressive lineup of Ford vehicles, from sleek sedans to robust trucks. At Capital City Ford, we're not just about selling cars, we're about crafting exceptional experiences. Our knowledgeable staff is here to assist you in finding the perfect Ford that suits your lifestyle and budget. Visit us today and let us evaluate your driving experience with Capital City Ford.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaба and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel for SoDak 16 coverage. Dylan Simmons here, joined by the head coach of the Pierre Governors boys basketball team, Miss Brianna Kusler. And Coach, looking forward to this one today. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it should be great.
All right, let's get right into it. With the regular season now over, I'm curious how this edition of the Governors has improved over the season in your eyes compared to where they were at the start of the year.
You know, I would say that our record isn't indicative of what this team is capable of. You know, we had some rough stretches there down at the end, but the heart and just the overall kids that we get to have in our gym every day. I mean, they certainly deserve to have a better record than what they have right now, and I think that what an opportunity. We're right now tossed the regular season out at 0-0, and it's a new season. So, you know, we need to forget about all of that and move forward with this new season.
Well, no matter the record, they've certainly played like winners in a lot of their games this year, Coach. Now, jumping ahead to this game today, you have faced off against Brandon Valley earlier this season, and you gave them a heck of a fight. What is it going to take for this team to get over the hump today and defeat the Lynx in their home venue?
Yeah, you know, we've talked about it a lot this season. All it's going to take is one game, and why not today? Why not us? Why not today? You know, I think it's easy to get overlooked in this game because of the matchup 2-15. But I think our guys should have a lot of confidence and do have a lot of confidence based on our first performance against them. And just the quality things that we did there, continuing to improve on a few other things, especially defensively. That was something down the stretch for us, we got a little bit sloppy, and so we refined some of those areas defensively and got back to the basics and the fundamentals that we've been preaching all since day one. And we're really fortunate to have the kids that we do have. They come in ready to compete every day, regardless of if we won or lost the night before. And it was no different this week. They were ready for the test, 0-0. Let's go get it.
Well, I may be biased, but I do think that 15th seed, not indicative of just how good this team can be when they're at their best. But when it comes to playing on the road, how have the road games the guys have played this season prepared you for an environment like this?
I think our entire season, playing all 19, 20 teams in AA is certainly, it prepares you for any opponent down the stretch. And of course, it's a familiar ESD opponent that we have tonight. And just being able to, we've seen them once, now you get to go back, kind of watch that film, see what things that we did well, other areas that we can improve on, and they're going to do the same. So they're going to come with some alternative things, but just like we will. And it's going to, while yes, we've played them once before, it can be a completely different game the second time around. And that's the exciting part of AA basketball is for us in our schedule, we got to see everybody, and now we get to face one team, and winning that is going to get us to the state tournament.
Absolutely. Now, I was watching you guys practice yesterday before the girls' game, and it seemed like you guys were emphasizing form on defense. How important is it for this team to get that right today?
Defensively, that's where it's got to start. We know that our defense is going to play into our offense, and whether we're man, whether we're zone, whatever we are, we've got to be solid defensively, getting back to our fundamentals that remain the same regardless of man or zone, and then finishing possessions with a clear out. We got to clear the glass, and then looking to push in transition. This court is 10 feet larger than our court, and it gives us a chance to get out in transition and be able to push the tempo if that presents itself. But more importantly, just getting ourselves running the lanes hard that we need to, and forcing them to have to rotate and collapse early on. So we fill the running hard down the middle of the lane, rim to rim, and then filling our wings out there, pushing in transition. But none of that works unless you get a stop defensively and clear the glass. So that's really going to be a point of emphasis for us tonight.
Absolutely. Now, what is the attitude of the team coming into this one, and what should we expect to see from them today?
I think, why not us? It's pretty simple, but it speaks for itself. They believe that they believe, and so do we as coaches. We believe that we deserve to be at the state tournament, and we've got to go out there and prove that tonight.
Why not us? Why not the Govs? Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel in 3 with more SoDak 16 coverage.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Ferding Electric and their team of electricians have been serving the electrical needs of Central South Dakota for over 60 years. For fast, dependable service, call Ferding Electric. For free estimates, commercial, residential, and farm wiring, you'll find a large selection of light bulbs, including the hard-to-find fluorescent bulbs. Ferding Electric at 2903 East Elizabeth Street in Pierre. They'll do the job right the first time. Call 605-224-8684. Ferding Electric, 605-224-8684.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Beautiful playing of our national anthem here at Brandon Valley High School. It's now time to meet the starters in this SoDak 16 game for both the Lynx and the Govs. Pierre wearing all green today, looking like the Boston Celtics just a little bit. Green jerseys, green pants. Brandon Valley, meanwhile, in all white with red stripes down the pants. Our scoreboard courtesy of American Family Insurance and the Brittany Shufflebine Agency. Thank you to Brittany and American Family Insurance for sponsoring our scoreboard each and every game. Cheerleaders being honored here at Brandon Valley High School, both for the Governors and the Lynx, and that is a great show of sportsmanship and respect on both sides. The cheerleaders have both been at home and traveled with the Governors this season. They were at the girls' game last night. Of course, the Governor girls advancing their way to the state tournament by defeating 10th-seeded Harrisburg, and now the Governor boys will look to join them, but they have a monumental task ahead of them. This Brandon Valley team, as I mentioned in the pregame, just a year ago, advanced all the way to the state championship game, lost by just 1 point to the Mitchell Colonels. Now they want their own bunch of revenge, but this Governors team wants to get back to the state tournament. Governors players now being honored, and one of the great traditions of the SoDak 16 is that all the players are honored no matter whether they're starters, JV, or whatever the case may be. So players like Caleb Lunsberry, Caden Morris getting honored, among many others that make up this incredible Governors roster. Soon we will meet the Governor starters as well as the Lynx starters. Packed house here at Brandon Valley today. It's about a 3-hour, 10-minute drive from the capital city to get here, and it is due east of Sioux Falls. One of several Sioux Falls schools, or at least schools in the general area of Sioux Falls. Part of the Metro, rather Eastern South Dakota Conference and Metro Division, as now the Brandon Valley boys roster will be honored. Got Braden Knudsen, Gus Scott, among some of the others. And of course, the starters will be coming up soon. which we presume will start with Mac Mayen for the Lynx. These two teams, of course, meeting earlier on this season. Brandon Valley was able to take the win in that game, but the Governors felt like they were oh so close. Brianna Kusler talked about it after that game was over. We were that close to beating them. We needed a couple more things to go our way, and we would have had it. Well, today, they get their opportunity to prove it against the second-seeded Lynx. Let's meet the Govs.
At 1 forward for the Governors, number 13, 6'4" junior Lincoln Dilgis.
First up, it's Lincoln Dilgis. We expect him to be the lone junior in the lineup today. The small forward standing at 6'4". And now it's Mock Mayen for Brandon Valley. Again, much like the girls' game last night, we go from one team back to the other. Here's Eladio Semental. And we expect him to be a big key in the interior today. Next up for Brandon Valley, that's number 10, Aiden Zur, the senior forward, standing at 6'2". There's the spark plug, Sawyer Sonnenschein. Look for him to nail a couple triples in this game. Austin Dowd, number 20, the sophomore center, one of the youngest starters in this game, but don't let that fool you, folks. And there's the sharpshooter, Dawson Getz, hot off the heels of a great performance against Watertown and leading the team in points against Jefferson. Number 12, Briggs Knudsen, next up for Brandon Valley, rounds out the starters. And finally, Luke Olson dishing out the silencer before this game kicks off. This is what we wait for all year, folks. This moment, much like March Madness, it's a shining moment, and it's your one shining moment to take advantage of the opportunity to advance to the state tournament and put yourself among the elite in the Mount Rushmore State. Eladio Semental will make his way out to the logo. Looks like he'll be the one to fight for the tip as usual. These two teams met in 2013 in the state championship game. They have not met in the postseason since. Today, that streak ends a dozen years later. A packed house here in Brandon, South Dakota. Let's settle back and enjoy what will hopefully be an instant classic. SoDak 16, it's underway. And Brandon Valley wins the opening tip. It's Austin Dowd. And Dowd will quickly go to work. He gives it up to Briggs Knudsen. And Knudsen, guarded by Sawyer Sonnenschein, gives it right back to Dowd. Dowd, right wing, pass inside, great pass. Shot no good, rebound by Olson. Good defense by Olson on Landon Delaney that time. Able to just get in front of him and cause the pressure. Now Olson from the top. Rolls to the left, finds Getz. He pulls up for three. It's no good off the side of the iron. Rebound taken by Aiden Zur. And now we'll see what Mr. Zur has in store. He's going to pass inside. Dowd had it tipped away, and it's intercepted by Luke Olson. Defense by Dilgis that time, got the tip. And now Olson driving. Olson gives it to Sonnenschein. Sonnenschein tries to get some spacing, goes right back to Semental. Semental over to Dilgis. Dilgis finds Semental. He pulls up for three. Just in and out. Rebound taken by Mock Mayen. And Mayen lost the ball. Olson right there to pick it up. Could not get the finish, though. And the Governors missing some opportunities offensively early on. Now the Lynx looking to make them pay. Here's Delaney. Gives it back, and to the top it goes to Briggs Knudsen. Knudsen guarded by Olson. Checks it over to Zur. Zur tries to go inside, pass deflected, right in the hands of Delaney. Delaney got rid of it, and now a three-point shot on the way. Zur, no good, and here's Olson with the fast break. Olson, guarded by Zur, Euro-stepping his way over to Semental, and he traveled. He hesitated for just a second. He thought about the three-point shot, but I think that earlier miss might have cost him a chance to put that one in. He took the step too early, and it cost him. Turnover for the Govs, 6:28 to go in the first quarter. Score still 0-0. From the outside, it's Dowd. Gives it over to Aiden Zur. Zur has to go back inside. Here's Knudsen, Briggs Knudsen, bounces it back. Zur able to find Delaney. Delaney goes back to the left side. Now Zur goes inside. Knudsen almost lost the basketball, gives it up to Mayen. Mayen still has it. Mayen shoots, cannot get the shot to go in. Olson again with tremendous defense, and the Govs defense showing they are up to the challenge early on. Great defense on Mayen by Olson. and still no score 2 minutes in. Very reminiscent of what we saw defensively for the Pierre girls yesterday against Harrisburg back in the capital city. Getz fires one to Sonnenschein. Sonnenschein guarded by Mayen. Back to Olsen at the top. Olsen inside to Getz. Getz on the block, off the glass, shoots, cannot get the finish. Defense that time by number 20, Austin Dowd. Dowd made the difference. Now Mayen moving his way and losing the ball. He got a little too fancy with his footwork, and Dawson Getz was there to clean it up. Turnover for the Lynx. Governors with the ball. Dilgis inside. Dilgis muscling his way for two. And finally, we got some points in this game. It's Lincoln Dilgis who just bully balled his way for a couple. Govs on top 2-0, 5:06 to go in the first quarter. From the left side, it's Delaney. Delaney gets the ball back from Dow. Delaney able to find Zur in the corner. Aiden Zur gives it back to Knudsen. Knudsen finds Zur again. Zur's got a lane. Can't get the shot to go in on the reverse. And the Lynx are having nothing going their way early. Govs on top 2-zip. Getz thought about the three-point shot almost out of bounds. Checks it over to Olsen. And Olsen resets at the top. Olsen fires one to Sonnenschein. Right side. Here's the three. No good. And the ball bounces over the backboard and out of bounds. This is KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons on the call. Govs on top 2-0 over the second-seeded Brandon Valley Lynx in SoDak 16 action. And it looks like we'll get some substitutions. Brandon Valley sending in Lincoln McEnraney, excuse me. He will check in, as will number 40. That is Grant Hennon. And he was a big focus for the Govs yesterday in practice as far as defense is concerned. McEnraney gives it up to number 12, Knudsen. Knudsen throws the ball almost out of bounds. Trouble for Delaney in the corner. Still has it, has to check it back to Knudsen. Knudsen now to the left side. Delaney gets it back. Now a three-point shot on the way. Up and over, no good. But the rebound and the offensive board put in by Delaney. 2-2, and Brandon Valley ties the game up. Landon Delaney stuck with it that time. And we're all knotted up at a basket apiece. Halfway through the first quarter, Sawyer Sonnenschein moves over to Getz. Getz almost lost the thing. Gives it to Dilgis. Dilgis guarded by Hennon. Dilgis hands off to Olsen. Olsen right past Hennon, gives it up to Shufflebein, who's now in the game. Shufflebein, mid-range J, no good. Great rebound by Getz, but he lost the ball. Stolen away by Braden Miller, who is also one of those substitutions for Brandon Valley. Missed him initially. Miller also in the game. And he's another key piece off the bench. He scores a bunch of points for the Lynx on average. Hennon playing some bully ball, checks it back, three-point shot. McEnraney got it. And the first triple of the game goes for Brandon Valley as McEnraney makes it 5-2. Luke Olsen from the top, moving left side to Getz. Here's Craig Nelson almost on the hardwood. Sonnenschein does pull up for three and buries it. The spark plug with some electricity. 5-5, we are all knotted up in Brandon. We said he can hit a triple or two, and there was his first one. 2:45 to go in the first. Mid-range J is up and good. Tough shot from Landon Delaney. He's now got 4, and it's 7-5 Brandon Valley. Now Olsen from the top. Takes it right at the logo. Bounce pass to Sonnenschein, right side, and he stepped out of bounds. His foot was just straddling that far sideline, and it ended up resulting in a turnover. Dawson Getz will check out. Eladio Semental back in the game with the 2:26 to play in the first quarter. We'll see if Getz returns in this first period. Here's Briggs Knudsen playing as the point, all the way back at the logo, guarded by Sonnenschein. Moves left side as an open player. Three-point shot on the way, and good from McEnraney. He's now got 2 triples in this first quarter, and it's 10-5 Brandon Valley. McKierney, excuse me, that's how you pronounce that last name. Dilgis can't get the shot to fall. Rebound taken by Hennon. So all of a sudden, Brandon Valley starting to take control. McEnraney, excuse me, inside to Hennon. Hennon, his shot goes in. Hennon left wide open that time, and it's now 12-5 all of a sudden with Brandon Valley on top. 1:39 to go in the first quarter. Olsen left side to Semental. Semental right back to Olsen. Olsen sits on the ball, got it just back to Semental. after he fell down for just a second. He was literally sitting on it. That was not hyperbole. Now to Schuffelbein. Schuffelbein slipping, staying on his feet though. Over to Sunshine, now to Simmental. Simmental spinning, puts up a tough shot, no good. Rebounded by Schuffelbein, and he gets fouled hard. It looks like by Hennon, and that'll send him to the free throw line. It is McInerney, who ended up causing that foul, so he'll head to the free throw line. Schuffelbein with a chance at 2 and to make this a 5-point game. Makes the first one. Carter Schuffelbein's been a huge piece off the bench for Pierre all year long. And Dawson Getz will check in for Lincoln Dilgis. And we'll also see Landon Delaney head to the bench, as it looks like Mock Mahan is back in the game. Schuffelbein to make it a 5-point game after the foul by McKerney. Misses it, and the rebound taken by Hennon. So 1 for 2 for Schuffelbein from the line. 1:10 to go in the first quarter. From the left side, it's Briggs Knutson. Knutson checks it back. McKerney inside has an open Hennon. Hennon's shot goes in. Put it right over Schuffelbein that time. And Hennon now with back-to-back baskets. 4 total points in the first quarter, 14-6 Lynx. They have taken over in this back half of the period. Olsen to Dawson Getz. Getz finds Olsen on the right side. Now Sonnenshine's open. Sonnenshine trying to give it back to Olsen and does. Olsen finds Getz, gets in the post, puts one up, no good, and the rebound taken by McKerney. And he's been all over the floor in this first quarter. There is a 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Lynx on top, 14-6. They have taken control of this game after initially having a lot of issues with the Governor's defense, but Craig Nelson's team has adjusted well, and they're looking to tap into that playoff form that they were able to utilize last year en route to a state championship game appearance. And Governor's not pressuring hard right now on Briggs Knutson. Knutson driving, kicks it out. 3-point shot on the way. No good for Braden Miller. And there's another shot late that won't go in. That'll do it for the first quarter. Govs down 14-6 from the Brandon Valley, but still very much in this game. We've got 3 more quarters to sort this thing out live from Brandon, South Dakota. We'll be right back on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel in 1 minute with more SoDak 16 coverage.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons on the call. Govs down 16-4 to the second-seeded Brandon Valley Lynx in SoDak 16 action, but with the basketball. Govs have it on the right side. This is Olsen. Olsen checks it back to Getz. Getz goes right back to Olsen. Olsen goes inside to Simmental. Simmental has an open man. It's Aharts who can't get it to fall, but the ball out of bounds on the Governors. I thought for sure that would be out on Brandon Valley. He's looking right at it, but apparently it was last touched by Aharts in that scrum. So it is indeed Brandon Valley basketball. Govs are the number 15 seed in the state, trying to pull the upset on the road. Move on to the state tournament for the first time in 2 years. From the top, it's McInerney. McInerney gives it up to Landon Delaney. Delaney left side. Out of the left side, to Knutson. Knutson gives it right back to Braden Miller. Miller has to check it back. McInerney in a little bit of trouble, checks it back to Zur. Zur now to McInerney, shot clock down to 3. Got to get rid of this one. Great defense by Pierre, tough shot is no good. The Governors' defense made all the difference that time. That's the kind of defense they got to play. As that one bounces off of Zur. Olsen was trying to go inside. He still has it, though. This is a rough pass that ends up getting intercepted. Ill-advised throw from Luke Olsen that time. I think he was trying to go to Dilgis, but just didn't have the clearance. Now McInerney from Zur. Bounce pass inside off of Hennon and taken away. Great defense by Getz that time. Now we'll see if the Govs can capitalize, and that's intercepted. Taken away by Miller. Miller read that pass like a book, but Olsen responds right back with a steal of his own. And these teams continue to turn it over time and time again. It's been a turnover-heavy game so far. Both defenses playing really disciplined basketball thus far. Olsen wants Aharts to take it, and he will. So now Aharts running the point. Moves to the right side, hands off to Simmental. Simmental hands off to Getz. Getz pulls up, mid-range J is off the front of the iron and no good. McInerney with the rebound. 6:03 to go in the second quarter. Brandon Valley with the 14-6 lead. Lincoln McInerney leading all scorers with 6 points thus far. And a low pass at the feet of Hennon. He gets rid of it, and that ball is taken away. Bouncing off of Delaney into the hands of Olsen. Another turnover forced by the Governors. And they've been doing a lot of that inside the post. They've been clogging up those passing lanes. Wide open, Dilgis shot. Cannot go in. He was wide open and had a chance at an easy one. But the Governors just can't convert on these short chances right now. And if there's one thing that could cost the Governors the game, it is that. Having those open shots that you're just not able to take advantage of. From the right side, it's Zur. Zur gets a screen, drives inside, and it puts it in right underneath the basket. Brianna Kusler wants a timeout. 16-6 Brandon Valley. The screen from Zur, or rather from Hennon, able to set up Zur, or Delaney rather, and put in the basket to make it 16-6 with 5:18 to go in the first half. We're going to stick with the action right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Lynx on top, 16-6, and the band playing a victory tune as they're looking to see their Lynx advance back to the state championship game. It has been tough sledding for this Pierre offense thus far, just 6 points, and we got 5:18 to go in the first half. But one thing about Pierre, they've been known for their scoring outburst, and although they haven't played their best offensively yet, there is still time to turn it around, and no reason to start submitting this early. Lincoln Dilgis and Eladio Simmental having a conversation about probably this next possession and how they want to make this work. Olsen and Getz, of course, with the basketball right now. And those are the two guys that Pierre leans on more often than not. But they need to get somebody else involved if they want to win this one today. Olsen left side, guarded by Delaney. Checks it back to Getz. Getz inside to Simmental. Simmental high post finds Aharts. Aharts hands off to Olsen. Olsen wanted the three. Now drives inside, tough shot, no good off the glass. No clean look for Pierre that time. Olsen decided to take it right near the basket, but he couldn't get that one to go off the window. 4:45 to go in the second quarter. Zur gives it back to Mock Mayen. Mayen bounce pass, and a foul is committed. Looks like by Lincoln Dilgis, who's in disbelief after that call. He didn't think there was enough contact to warrant a foul in that situation. That'll be his first of the game. Overall, though, pretty clean game from both sides thus far. Not a lot of fouls in this one, as that pass from Mock Mayen rather, goes right near the drummer for the Brandon Valley band. As Brandon Valley will send in Lincoln McInerney for Mock Mayen. And we'll also see Landon Delaney sub out as Aiden Zur returns. Brandon Valley using a lot of substitutes in this game thus far. They really like going to that bench and having some fresh legs. And it's worked wonders for them thus far. Luke Olsen fires a bullet pass over to Dawson Getz. Getz with a reverse pass to Simmental. Mid-range J's up and good. And Eladio gets his first basket of the game. It's back to a single-digit contest. 16-8 Brandon Valley, 4:15 to go in the second quarter. Here's Briggs Knutson from the top, guarded by Aharts. Knutson checks back to Austin Dowd. Dowd bounce pass inside, and the ball bobbled by Zur out of bounds, but last touch by the Governors. So an inbound pass coming up. Actually, a foul was committed down there. Looks like a reach-in by Eladio Simmental as he slapped the arm. Inbound pass for the Lynx. Ball goes right back to Briggs Knutson. Knutson in a bit of trouble, gets rid of it, as Gus Scott's now in the game, and he throws it to nobody. Ball was tipped, though, and that'll lead to another inbound pass coming up for Brandon Valley. Slight tip by Olsen that time. Gus Scott gets rid of it to Knutson. Knutson checks it over to McInerney. McInerney has an open Zur. Zur bobbled it for a second, though. Didn't allow him to get off the three-point shot, but Scott's got a chance. Off the front of the iron, no good. Bouncing around, Governors get the rebound. Good work by Caden Aharts, and he's on the fast break. Aharts hands off to Getz. Getz right back to Aharts, who's going to find Simmental inside to Dilges. Dilges moving, pivoting, has to go back to Simmental. Pulls up for a long two, no good. Dilges right there for the rebound, and he'll put it in off the glass. Heads up play by Lincoln Dilges. That's his second basket of the game, 4 points overall. And all of a sudden, it's a 6-point Brandon Valley lead. Number 2 seed up by 6 over the number 15 seed. Zur checks it over to the left side. Here's McInerney, and did he go out of bounds? Or was that a foul on Pierre? Looks like there was a foul committed by Pierre, a blocking foul. And that'll lead to an inbound pass for the Lynx as they'll sub in Grant Hennon as well as Landon Delaney. And Austin Dowd will head to the bench. And looks like he's joined by Gus Scott. So inbound pass coming up for Brandon Valley. Foul going against Dawson Getz, by the way, his first. 3 team fouls for Pierre in the second quarter. Now to the left side. Give him back. Long range shot is up and good from Landon Delaney. 3-point shot, his first triple, and it's 19-10 for the Lynx. 2:56 to go in the second quarter. Getz from the logo now with his team down by 9. Now they really need a response. And a foul committed by Briggs Knutson underneath the basket as he was trying to guard Getz. Made a little bit too much contact. That's his first of the game. And Sawyer Sonnenschein will check in for Caden Aharts. Remember, Sonnenschein has the lone triple of the game for the Governors. Olsen inbounds it to Dilges. Dilges has an open Simmental. This is going to be a 3-point shot if it goes. No good. Rebound taken by Delaney. And Delaney on the fast break tries to go ahead to Zur, and he does. Now a shot blocked, no travel called. Step back 3 on the way, no good. Rebound by Hennon. And a foul committed on the floor as one of the stands near the band gets taken out. And the foul going against Sawyer Sonnenschein. That'll be his first of the game. This will be the 4th team foul for Pierre in this second quarter. One more, that'll put the Lynx in the bonus with 2:33 to go in the second, but the offensive rebounding making an impact on this possession. Briggs Knutson, left side, gives it up to Zur. Zur goes inside to Hennon on a jump ball. Hennon is able to run right past the defense and score. Grant Hennon makes it 21-10. He's now got 6 points in this first half. Olsen from the logo. Govs down by 11, and they've only scored 10 thus far. It has been tough sledding offensively. Olsen driving, having to spin out. Nice pass to Simmental in the post. Simmental in some trouble. Has to put one up, and he puts it in. Good work by Eladio Simmental on the turnaround shot. He's now got 4 in the second. It's back to a single-digit game. 21-12 Lynx. 1:50 to go in the second quarter. Knutson from the top gets rid of it. Delaney from the right side, hesitating. He wants Knutson to move. Now he wants a screen. Has to go back to McInerney. McInerney, left side to Knutson. Knutson on the left wing, heaves one up. Zur out of bounds, couldn't hold on to it. Governors take over, turnover for Brandon Valley. And again, that was all about Luke Olsen and Dawson Getz on the interior, making an impact that time. And forcing Brandon Valley into a bad pass. As Zur will check out of the game. We'll see, looks like Knutson stay out, and McMahon is back in the game. Olsen from the point, 1:23 to go here in the second quarter. Olsen's open, pulls up for 3, and no good. Good rebound by Sonnenschein, though. Great offensive board by Sawyer Sonnenschein. That's starting to make a difference for Pierre in this game. Those second chance opportunities could put them right back in position. Olsen gets the handoff, pulls up, corner 3. And again, no good. A foul's committed, and it's going to go against Pierre on the rebound attempt. Looks like Simmental is the guilty party. Push foul, trying to get the ball back. That's his second foul of this game. And because of that, that'll put Brandon Valley in the bonus because that's the 5th team foul for Pierre. As Caden Aharts will check in. So that's a costly foul in that situation. Understand Simmental trying to be physical and get the rebound, but sometimes you've got to be more aware in those situations. Could be a critical mistake towards the end of this first half. So Brandon Valley now in the bonus with Mock Mayen at the line, and he makes the first one. If you're going to be a good basketball team in the postseason, you've got to make sure to make your free throws, and Mock Mayen holding true to that thus far, 22-12 for the Lynx. Stay tuned, by the way, at halftime. We'll have your KCCR Sports halftime report right here on your Riverfront Broadcasting Station as Mock Mayen puts the second one in as well. 23-12, Brandon Valley back to an 11-point lead. Governors have not been able to stop the bleeding of the Brandon Valley offense and have not been able to get their own offense going in the second quarter. That might change. Oh boy, Getz got smoked, but was fouled by Mayen. Mock Mayen was right there to try to block Dawson Getz, but he was a little too physical with the block, and now Dawson Getz with an opportunity to bring it back to a single-digit game. That was a great cut by Getz to the basket. Mayen trying to react to that, reacted a little too much. And Getz sinks the first free throw. 23-13 Brandon Valley. Getz has been quiet in this game, just his first point right there. 51.3 to go in the half. He makes both free throws. And just like that, we're right back to a 9-point game. 23-14 Lynx. Here's Delaney. Hands off on the right side to Briggs Knutson. There is a 15-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Knutson now to the left side to McInerney. And Lincoln McInerney has to go back to the top. Sun and shine. Nope, timeout taken actually by Craig Nelson. Didn't like what he saw by Brandon Valley offensively, and he's going to talk it over. We're going to stick with the action no matter what. Looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout. Dylan Simmons here on the call on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. By the way, folks, a lot of sports action happening across the Riverfront Broadcasting stations this weekend. On Capital City Rock, John Winkler is on the call with Girls State Hockey, the Girls State Hockey Tournament right here in the Sioux Falls area. You can catch those games on Capital City Rock and the Capital City Rock Sports YouTube channel as well. Make sure to check those games out at the conclusion of this game. If the Governors were to win, they would play in 2 weeks in Rapid City. It would be a Thursday through Saturday state tournament. Governor girls will play next week in Rapid City, and they'll be playing the the Brandon Valley Lynx, not the Watertown Arrows. That's who the Brandon Valley girls played last night, so we'll see either way a rematch of a certain respect. Brandon Valley versus Pierre, another chapter, will be coming up this Thursday. Alley-oop is up, and Mayen couldn't get the finish. Pierre trying to capitalize. Aharts, instead of pushing the ball ahead, decided to go back to Olsen. Wanted to set up the play a little bit better. An odd play call by Brandon Valley in that situation. First time we've seen an alley-oop in this game. That pass deflected, ends up going right back to Olsen. Olsen running out of time with 6 seconds with 5. Aharts has it, goes back to Olsen. Olsen has to put one up at the buzzer and gets blocked by Mayen to end the half. And that will do it for a physical and wearing first half of action for the Pierre Governors and Brandon Valley Lynx. Brandon Valley on top by a score of 23-14 after 16 minutes of high school basketball action. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have your KCCR Sports halftime report on KCCR Radio and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more SoDak 16 coverage.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebine Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Well, when the Pierre Governors played the Brandon Valley Lynx earlier on this season, it was a much closer game and a much more high-scoring game than we've seen thus far in a 68-57 loss. Thus far, the Brandon Valley Lynx on top of the Pierre Governors by a score of 23-14, but that 9-point deficit feels like a lot more with the way the Lynx have been able to control this game thus far. Dylan Simmons on the call. This is a presentation of the SoDak 16 on KCCR, and this is your KCCR Sports halftime report. Let's get into some stats. We'll start with the Brandon Valley Lynx. Landon Delaney leads all scorers right now with 9 total points. He's got a triple and 3 twos thus far for the Lynx. Mock Mahan has a couple of free throws on his agenda as well. Lincoln McInerney with a couple triples in the first quarter, and Grant Henning with 6 total points in the interior for Brandon Valley as well. Much like Pierre was predicting, he has certainly been a tough guy to handle in the post thus far in this game. Governors, of course, held to just 14 points in the first half. They were led in scoring by Eladio Cimental and Lincoln Dilgis, both of them with 4 points thus far. Maybe the most shocking stat of the first half, Luke Olson and Dawson Getz, the 2 superstars, combining for just 2 points overall. Getz had a couple free throws late in the first half, but otherwise, Brandon Valley has really shut down the 2-star players, and they have not been able to get the open looks that they usually are against this Brandon Valley defense. And if that doesn't change, it's going to be tough sledding the rest of the way through. Governors right now on pace to only score 28 points in this game. They cannot let that happen if they want to move on to the 2025 South Dakota AA State Tournament. In the regular season, the Governors were 0-10 against teams above 500, and right now that trend is looking to continue against the Brandon Valley Lynx. But if there's one thing that Pierre's been able to do a lot this season, it's get great adjustments out of the locker room. They have had some struggles in the third quarter in the past, but they found a way to remedy those to some degree. And if they want to win this game, they're going to have to do it once again. Scoring an average of 56.2 on the season, giving up an average of 61.5. Right now they're certainly on pace for one of their better defensive performances of the season, but it seems as though every time there is a playoff game, the points become less and less as the games wear on and the competition heats up. The easy scores that you got early on in the season, well, they just don't happen anymore, and that's kind of what we're seeing here today with the Governors and the Brandon Valley Lynx. Last year, the Governors lost to Washington in the SoDak 16 by a score of 52-47 as the 12 seed. This their lowest seed in a couple years with Brianna Kusler. Of course, not that far removed from making the state semifinals 2 years ago by defeating 11th seeded O'Gorman and 7th seeded Roosevelt. Pierre certainly has players who were on that team, know what it takes to have success in the postseason, and now they want to find it again. But if they're going to be able to, they've got to turn the tide in this one and do it in a hurry out in the third quarter. They've got to come out swinging in the third quarter. They need to do like Rocky Balboa once did and hit Brandon Valley with shots that'll rattle their ancestors. That's what the Governors need to do when this third quarter begins. We'll see if they're able to do just that in 3. We'll be right back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel with more SoDak 16 coverage. Don't go anywhere.
Discover the ultimate driving experience at Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. With our extensive lineup of vehicles, including reliable sedans, rugged SUVs, and powerful trucks, finding your perfect match has never been easier. Plus, our dedicated team is committed to providing top-notch customer service, ensuring your satisfaction every step of the way. Visit us today and experience the excellence at Capital City Ford Lincoln and Toyota.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Ferding Electric and their team of electricians have been serving the electrical needs of Central South Dakota for over 60 years. For fast, dependable service, call Ferding Electric. For free estimates, commercial, residential, and farm wiring, you'll find a large selection of light bulbs, including the hard-to-find fluorescent bulbs. Ferding Electric at 2903 East Elizabeth Street in Pierre. They'll do the job right the first time. Call 605-224-8684. Ferding Electric, 605-224-8684.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. And as you can hear in the background, the band is getting loud and proud here at Brandon Valley High School. The score is 23-14. The Brandon Valley Lynx on top of the Pierre Governors. This is the SoDak 16 on KCCR. Boys basketball action. The Lynx will start with the basketball to kick off this third quarter of action. And they ended it with a big block from Mock Mahan on Luke Olson, who was attempting a buzzer beater to bring this game to 6 going into the locker room, and instead it is 23-14 for Craig Nelson's squad. Lynx coming off an 18-6 season a year ago, 8-2 at home, as the officials are getting a couple things sorted out. Craig Nelson in his 4th season at Brandon Valley, former head coach at Washington as well, trying to win his first state championship for the Lynx. And that pass almost intercepted. There to collect it was Austin Dowd. All the starters back in the game for Brandon Valley, same for Pierre. Long-range 3 from Delaney is good. Pierre left him way too open, and Delaney was able to capitalize. 26-14 Brandon Valley, and the screen that the Lynx put on the Governors that time made all the difference. Olsen to Eladio Simmental on the left side. Simmental finds gets one at a step back three. Instead, he tries to drive inside. There was a foul committed before the shot, so this will lead to an inbound pass for the Governors. You're down by 12 to Brandon Valley. This is their biggest deficit of the game thus far. And one thing they've struggled with is coming out of the locker room with momentum, but they have gotten better about that as the season has progressed forward. As we were discussing at halftime, Olsen almost traveled there, has to get rid of it to Sonnenschein, gets it back. Bullet pass to Getz, who just barely was able to handle it. Sonnenschein on the right side, bounce pass to Dilges. Checks it back out to Simmental. Simmental at the arc, finds Olsen. Olsen bobbles it. He's gonna hesitate, drive in the post. Pirouettes, goes to Simmental, open for a mid-range J, and he can't get the finish. Olsen gets the rebound though, gives it back to Simmental. Underneath the basket, he gets the and one. A dynamic play by Eladio Simmental. He's got 6 and a chance at a three-point play right here to answer Brandon Valley's own triple from Landon Delaney. Tremendous play by Eladio Simmental. That's the kind of explosive opportunity they were looking for. And Simmental converts the three-point play. He's got 7. It is a 26-17 Brandon Valley lead. Delaney right side driving. Double team. Good defense by Olsen on the check. Back to the top to Knutson. Briggs Knutson goes over to Aiden Zur. Pass inside and a foul on Lincoln Dilges, a push foul. And looking right at him, his face was not too satisfied with that call, as he was trying to guard Austin Dowd. That's going to be Dilges' second foul of the game. He's got 4 total points thus far. Inbound pass to Mock Mayen, and a foul on Sawyer Sonnenschein, who is going for the ball as it was up in the air. So the second foul on this possession, and that'll also be the second team foul on Pierre early on in this third quarter. 6:42 to go in the third. Inbound pass coming from Knutson. And Briggs Knutson gets it over to Austin Dowd. Dowd in one-on-one, goes inside. Delaney gets a shot blocked by Simmental. Boy, is he fired up today. Simmental on a heater to start off this third quarter. First the and one, then the savage block. Ball goes up to Dowd. Dowd to Mayen. Mock Mayen goes opposite side. Delaney wanted the 3, instead goes for the mid-range J. No good. Ball bouncing around. And the rebound by Dowd inside. Open. Delaney scores. And the offensive board allowed Brandon Valley to cash in, and Pierce had no answer for Landon Delaney. He is now well into double figures. Olsen has to give a bullet pass to Dilges. He's double covered, and that shot no good. A low percentage shot by Lincoln Dilges, and now Brandon Valley looking to cash in. Check back to the outside to Zur. Zur on the left side. Dishes it over. Delaney pulls up for 3. No good this time. Got a little greedy. Goes over to Sawyer Sonnenschein. Sonnenschein on the left side. Pierre desperately needs an answer. Down by 11. Pass to Dilges. He's got one-on-one with Dowd, and he went out of bounds. He was guarded by Dowd, and Dilges trying to push the basketball, and he just is not in agreement with that call. As Mock Mayen will head to the bench, so will Dilges. And we'll see the return of Braden Miller. But you can tell that Lincoln Dilges has just not agreed with a lot of these calls, and there have been some questionable ones on the Governors. It's something that you can't really do anything about. It's out of their control. All you can do is play the game of basketball the best way you can. Trying to go up and over to Dowd. Dowd is going to be fouled by Dawson Getz. Got his arm tangled up with Dowd, and that, it looks like, will be a shooting foul to send Brandon Valley to the free throw line. So the Governors have had issues fouling so far in this third quarter. And now Dowd with an opportunity at his first point of the game, and he does nail the first free throw. Brandon Valley has been picture perfect from the line thus far. And although they haven't really dominated the game in the way that they may have expected, what they have been able to do is control the pace. And we talked about that with Craig Nelson in the pregame show, and it looks like they've been able to accomplish that mission thus far. 30-17 Governors. 5:26 to go in the third quarter. Sonnenschein from the top, hands off to Simmental. Simmental driving, kicks it over to Luke Olsen. Olsen has a lane right to the hoop, he scores. The first basket by Luke Olsen in this game. He puts it in the third quarter. It's 30-19. Checking it back to Knutson is Brandon Valley. Lynx on top by 11, number 2 seed in the state. Here the number 15 seed, SoDak 16 action. Landon Delaney Checks it over to Braden Miller. Now gets it back on the right side. Has an open Knutson. Knutson inside to Aiden Zur. Zur to Dow. Dowd's wide open. Olsen fell down that time, and it allowed Dow to get the easy shot. Dow now with points on back-to-back possessions. 4 total in this game. 32-19. Semental's got it. Hands it off to Olsen. Olsen looking for something. Goes to Getz. Getz immediately pressured. Gives it to Sonnenschein. Sonnenschein, nice sidestep 3 opportunity, and he puts it in. Sawyer Sonnenschein is burning rubber in this one. 22-32. Sonnenschein now with 2 triples, and it's a 10-point game. 32-22. Now Knutson open. Corner 3. No good. Govs get a break that time. Knutson was wide open as Semental pushes it ahead. Running right through the Brandon Valley defense. Don't travel, and he just barely didn't. Almost traveled for the second time in this game. He made that mistake in the first quarter. Not so much this time. Getz muscling his way inside. Shot no good. Rebound taken by Aiden Zur. The Govs have had looks up against the basket, but the defense for Brandon Valley has just been so solid. They give up an average of less than 50 a game as Delaney can't put it in. And a great box out by Luke Olsen that time on Austin Dowd. That was tremendous form. He may not be scoring as many points today, but his defense has been pretty solid as Semental lost the basketball. Poked away by Delaney. Now Delaney bounces it over wide open on the fast break, and scoring is Aiden Zur. And Brianna Kusler wants a timeout. 34-22, Brandon Valley on top of the Pierre Governors. With 3:27 to go in the third quarter, Pierre is close, but they have not been able to quite match the Lynx. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and be right back. Lynx on top, 34-22 here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. So we're going to go back to the action. No 1-minute timeout. Apologies for that, folks. Your scoreboard, by the way, presented by American Family Insurance and the Brittany Schimmelbein Agency. Thank you to Brittany and American Family Insurance for sponsoring our scoreboard each and every game. Dylan Simmons on the call for you with this one as the second-seeded Brandon Valley Lynx are on top of the 15th-seeded Pierre Governors by a score of 34-22. And the SoDak 16 winner of this game moves on to the state tournament. Govs trying to join the girls who were able to advance last night with a win over the Harrisburg Tigers by a score of 46-39 back at Riggs High School. Governors have not been able to beat an opponent over 500 this year. Of course, all that in the regular season, and as we've stated a few different times in the postseason, it's just a different level, it's a different brand of basketball, and it has a different feel. Right now, the number 4 defense in AA for Brandon Valley has certainly stepped up. They give up an average of just 48.3 a game, and they've done better than that thus far. Gets open inside his Aharts. He tried to put up a shot, and he traveled. He was looking to maybe draw some contact for a second there, but he was open and actually ran past the goal. And because of that, he was not able to cash in. Wide open, but getting intercepted on that one was Dawson Getz, who took it away from Grant Hennon. Luke Olsen almost with a backcourt violation that time. Olsen driving, kicks it inside. Semental mid-range, Jay is good. What a game for Eladio Semental. We talked about having a guy come along with Getz and Olsen. Well, Eladio Semental has certainly filled that void. He's got 9 thus far in the game, leading scorer for the Govs. And it is a 10-point game, tied up in the corner now. Here comes Gus Scott. Scott almost lost the ball, gets it back out to Miller, who falls down, and a foul against Olsen. Olsen tripped him up just a little bit. And that will be, I believe, foul number 3 on the Governors for the third quarter. As Mock Mayen will check in. That's going to be Olsen's first of the game. Gus Scott quickly checks out after a brief stint in the game. By the way, the dangerous Lincoln McInerney is back in, and he had a tremendous first quarter. He was trading threes every which way. Pass inside is deflected and intercepted. Here's Aharts on the fast break. Ahart stops, collects himself, goes to Olsen. Olsen to Sonnenschein, who's already got 2 threes. Back to Olsen, open for 3, on the way and good. The triple from Luke Olsen, and number 23 steps up. Splish, splash, cash. And a timeout taken by Craig Nelson. The Governors are starting to wind their way back into this one. It's a 7-point Brandon Valley lead as we have a 30-second timeout. We're going to stick with the action. 2:12 to go in the third quarter. Dylan Simmons on the call here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. This is the SoDak 16. Governors, the number 15 seed. As far back as I can tell, there's never been a 15 seed upset a 2 seed, much less a 16 beat a 1, and that is not going to happen today, as it looks like the Lincoln Patriots are in firm command of their game against Sturgis Brown. But the Governors have an opportunity for a historic upset if they can defeat Brandon Valley, and right now, the odds be darned, they are keeping right with the number 2 seed in South Dakota. They've just got to put together a few more pieces, and they can pull the upset. It's going to come down to how this game runs in the next 2 minutes and change. The end of this third quarter could very well determine the winner of this game, as that pass is deflected out of bounds, and you can feel the sense of urgency starting to tick up for Pierre. They've got it back to 7, but can they prevent another Brandon Valley body blow? In this boxing match, you don't want to absorb another blow if you're Pierre. And you've got to guard that guy. Landon Delaney goes right side to Knutson. Knutson hesitating, gets rid of it. Zer's got it. Aiden Zer, nowhere to go. Good defense by Olsen. Inside to Hennon. Opposite side is out of bounds and into the crowd. And the Pierre defense steps up once again as a few fans saw their life flash before their eyes. That's never something you want to experience in a basketball game, folks. Getting slammed by the ball unexpectedly. Always hurts, it's never fun. Sawyer Sunshine on the right side. Hands off to Semental. He's been great in this game thus far. Olsen, and an illegal screen by the Governors. Offensive foul and a turnover for Pierre. And Brianna Kusler is shocked by that call, and I'm not going to lie, I am as well. I didn't see much contact there. Of course, a little more biased here on KCCR, but didn't seem like there was enough to warrant a foul that time. And Kusler's still arguing with the official. She's got to be careful and avoid any technical foul in this situation. Olsen almost kicked that one. It goes to Mock Mayen. Now to Knutson. Knutson, as that one's intercepted, taken away by Getz into the hands of Olsen. Olsen finds Aharts. Aharts gets rid of it. Olsen in the corner. Olsen, and a foul's going to be called. It looks like against Knutson, who was trying to guard Olsen that time. Team foul number 3 on Brandon Valley. Olsen will get the inbound as Lincoln Dill just checks in. Eladio Simental heads to the bench. Brianna Kusler gives number 5 a high five, and for good reason. He's been unbelievable in this game thus far. Dilges finds Aharts. Aharts checks it over. Sunshine for 3. No good this time, just in and out. Would have made it a 4-point game. Ball out of bounds, though, and it tipped off of the Governors. It's those unlucky breaks that Pierce just not been able to overcome in these games this season. They've got Donald Duck luck, folks. They need a few things to bounce their way, and sometimes it just doesn't, and that's a great example of that. But maybe the worm will turn here. Good defense by Sunshine and Aharts on that play. Ball checked back to Knutson, who's been struggling offensively. Has to get rid of it here as Mock Mayen goes back. Knutson's got it. Left side, able to find Delaney. They've been guarding him well thus far. Here's Zer for 3, and he got it. Aiden Zer nails the triple, got open in the corner that time, and you felt like he was due for one at some point, and he capitalizes. It's back to a 10-point Brandon Valley lead. Gets with the basketball. There is a microscopic difference between the shot clock and game clock. So the Governors will likely try to dribble this one out. They get it in the hands of Olsen. The Lynx know that's where the Govs want to go in this situation. Down to 10. Olsen moves past Delaney. Olsen puts up a wild-looking hook shot. No good. Dilges with the rebound, and he was fouled. So Lincoln Dilges will head to the line for 2 on a shooting foul. Now let's see on who. It's going to be against Mock Mayen. So that will be Mayen's second, or rather third foul of this game, actually. And that'll allow Pierre an opportunity to make this a single-digit game with 3.2 to go in the third. Dilges' first free throw is up and no good. Flanged it off the right side of the iron as Lincoln McInerney and Austin Dowd will check in quickly. And Grant Hennon and Mock Mayen head to the bench. Mayen is a little slow getting off. Hopefully no greater issues there. Now Dilgis with a chance to make it a 9-point game. And he missed them both. Missed opportunity there. Here we go at the buzzer. Knutson puts one up from half court off the top of the backboard, no good. That'll do it for the third quarter of action. Brandon Valley on top of the Governors, 37-27. 8 more minutes to decide it. Who's going on to the state tournament? We'll find out after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons on the call. Fourth quarter action about to begin. Governors down 37-27. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. They haven't won since February 18th against Brookings, but they're trying to reverse that right now at the perfect time. Down by 10 to Brandon Valley. Luke Olson goes to Eladio Simmental. Govs down by 10. This is the final quarter of action. And that one almost intercepted. Delaney got in the way. Bullet pass to Getz by Olson. Tough shot by Getz, and he was fouled. So that was a fortuitous break that Pierre needed. That ball bounced away on the pass from Olson, went right back to him. Then he fired a reactionary almost bullet pass to Getz, was able to capitalize, and now he shoots for 2. He's 2 for 2 from the line thus far. And he misses the first one. It goes in and out. And that's a frustrating one for Pierre. Every point that they can get, they need right now. And we'll see if Dawson Getz can put this one in. Make it a 9-point game. He does. So 3 for 4 from the line now for Dawson Getz. It's 37-28. Getz now with 3 points total in this game, but it's not been a typical Dawson Getz performance. Remember, he had a team-leading point total against Jefferson not that long ago. Scored a total of 18. Right side, it's Delaney. Checks it over to Knutson on the bounce. Now a 3-point shot on the way. McInerney in and out, no good. Delaney gets the rebound, bounce back, no good again on the offensive shot. And the Governors come up with it. Missed shot by Aiden Zur, who was right underneath the basket. Sun and Shine goes right side to Olson. Olson at the top. Spinning in the high post. Gets rid of it to Sun and Shine. Sun and Shine sidestepping back to Olson. Olson left wing inside to Dilgis. Kicks it over to Sun and Shine. Sun and Shine finds Simmental. Low pass inside. Here's a turnaround shot from Olson. Low percentage and no good. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by Pierre as Dilgis got a hand on it. So that was a very risky shot by Luke Olson. I guess he felt like he didn't have anywhere else to go in that situation. Obviously, you can understand that as he tips this one onto the Brandon Valley bench. But right now, the Governors have got to avoid those low percentage shots if they want to come away with this victory. Those will cost them. So, got to get that form figured out. Landon Delaney in the high post, kicks it over to the left side. Zur underneath the basket, puts it in. What a great fake by Aiden Zur underneath to get it in, and he puts Brandon Valley on top, 39-28. And Brianna Kusler, sensing that Pierre may need a moment to discuss things, will take a timeout. Zur now has 7 points in the game. Brandon Valley on top by 11. This is going to be a full 1-minute timeout, so we'll take one as well. We'll be right back on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel with more SoDak 16 coverage.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating heating and cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Welcome back here to Brandon, South Dakota. Dylan Simmons on the call. Fourth quarter action in progress. Here, Pierre Governors down 39-28 to the Brandon Valley Lynx. Number 2 versus number 15 seed, Eladio Simmental losing the basketball. Went in and out of his hands, into the hands of Aiden Zur. Pushing it ahead on the fast break for the Lynx. Now over to Briggs Knutson on the left wing. Into the corner. It's McInerney. Has to get rid of it, back to Knutson. McInerney's been held scoreless thus far in the second half. He's getting tied up with Sawyer Sonnenschein over there, Right back to Knutson. Now to McInerney. Bullet pass inside. Zur, what a great cut, and he puts it in. Aiden Zur has taken over in this fourth quarter. He's now got 4 into the fourth period. 13-point Brandon Valley lead gets his fouled on the drive. Foul happened before the shot, and that'll be the first team foul by Brandon Valley, it looks like, in this fourth quarter. And the fourth team foul on Briggs Knutson, and another foul is committed. Was that on Knutson as well? Looks like it was, and that'll foul him out of the game. So Briggs Knutson's day comes to an end. With 5:52 to go in the fourth quarter, Mock Mayen checks in. It's been a challenging day for number 12. Hasn't quite had the efficiency as far as offense and has struggled on defense, but still a heck of a player and just hasn't had the day thus far. Dawson goes over to Lincoln Dilgis. Dilgis beyond the arc, spins his way over to Luke Olson. Olson maneuvering a bullet pass to Dilgis, bounces back to Simmental. Simmental lays one up for Olson. Olson spinning, broke a defender's ankles, couldn't get the shot to go in though, and the rebound collected by Landon Delaney. Pierre's just had so much traffic in the post, and they haven't been able to match Brandon Valley in getting open looks in that situation that it's been tough. Mock Mayen in the far corner, gets rid of it to Delaney. Smacks the ball, goes right side. McInerney gets rid of it to Delaney, and a great midair maneuver to put it in the basket. Landon Delaney continues his incredible game. He's now got a total of 16 points in this one. Leading scorer on either side. Mayen may have fouled Dawson Getz for a second. Ball pops straight up in the air. Great cut by Olson, reverse shot, goes in. Good work by Olson, back to a 13-point game with 4:44 to go in the fourth. Another timeout taken by Brianna Kusler with 13 points separating the number 2 seed from the number 15 seed. This is going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll stick with the action right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. This is KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. We're live from Brandon, South Dakota here this afternoon with the SoDak 16 boys basketball game. Number 15 Pierre versus number 2 Brandon Valley. Winner moves on to Rapid City in the state tournament coming up in a couple weeks. Governors have been close in this game to going over the edge and finally putting themselves ahead of Brandon Valley. Had this game down at 7 and 1 point in the third quarter, but they just have not been able to match Brandon Valley's firepower since then. And right now it feels as though that Craig Nelson's squad is in control, trying to close this one out and defeat Pierre for a second time this season in this venue. Won the first time around against Pierre as well, 68-57. Won by 11 that day, up by 13 right now. Full court press being used by Pierre. Doing anything they can to try to force a turnover. Delaney heaves one up, dangerous pass, and it's read beautifully by Dawson Getz. I don't know what happened to Delaney as far as that pass was concerned, but he paid for it. Sonnenschein fires one to Simmental. Fadeaway shot, no good, and Hennin fighting and securing the rebound against Dilgis. Here's another dangerous pass, but it gets ahead to Zur. Now inside to McInerney, and he puts it in. McInerney with 2 men on him that time, still put it in the basket. And he's now got his first points of the second half. 8 total for Lincoln McInerney. 15-point lead, and that pass taken away by Hennin. 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Up ahead, Zur on the fast break, fakes out, gets, and scores. 47-30, Aiden Zur puts in another basket, and now it's all of a sudden a 17-point advantage. And Brianna Kustler's going to take one more timeout, and the opportunity to advance to Rapid City may be slipping through the fingers of the Pierre Governors, with the hammer being laid down by Brandon Valley in this fourth quarter. It was once a 7-point game in the third not that long ago, but they're the number 2 seed for a reason. This Lynx team with so much talent, a lot of returning starters from a year ago. They were last year in the state championship game, and they've won a lot of closer games in the last stretch of the season. In each of their last 8, they've won by 14 points or less, but it hasn't deterred them from winning, and that's the most important thing. It's not how you win, it's just that you win, and that's what Brandon Valley has been able to do time and time again, especially here at home. Surprisingly, all 3 of their losses so far this season have come at home, and again, they were to Jefferson, Lincoln, and Mitchell. But outside of that, Brandon Valley has been very tough to beat. Or rather, to Harrisburg was the other loss, not Lincoln. But otherwise, Brandon Valley has been a very, very tough team to beat in these situations. And they are taking it to the Pierre Governors right now, who are running out of time with 3:48 to go in the fourth quarter. Down by 17 to the Brandon Valley Lynx. Just to clarify, those losses were to Jefferson, Harrisburg, and Lincoln, not Mitchell for Brandon Valley. Olsen from the right side gives it up to Getz. Getz driving, kicks it back out. Ahartz is now in the game on the left side. He's going to pump fake and go over to Eladio Simmental. Gets the ball back. Corner 3 on the way. No good. Getz fighting for the rebound, but he can't get it. Mock Mahan comes up with it. Simmental diving for the basketball. Can't secure it. Up ahead, Delaney wanted the slam dunk, but was fouled by Olsen, and that'll send him to the free throw line. The speed of Landon Delaney has made a huge, huge difference in this game. He can just outrace Pierre to the basketball on a number of occasions, and he's been tougher than a $2 steak in this one. Taking a lot of shots, taking some contact. It hasn't deterred him one bit, and you can tell that he's got a lot of confidence in his own ability, although he misses the free throw here. But he does not waver in his own belief in himself, and it's not necessarily cockiness, it's confidence if you can back it up. And he certainly has been able to show his stuff in this game. And he puts in the free throw. Delaney goes 1 for 2 from the line. It's 48-30 Brandon Valley. Luke Olsen from the right side, driving, puts one in off the glass. Good work by Luke Olsen. He's had a bit of a quiet game, but he got a nice shot there. 7 total now for the senior. Open inside is Mahan. Has to go back beyond the arc. Gets it over to Braden Miller. Miller now to Delaney. Turns around against Simmental. 50 to go, in the fourth quarter. Governors down 48-32 to second-seeded Brandon Valley. Now the Governors have to decide whether or not they want to foul in this situation. Delaney is going to drive right to the basket and score. And Landon Delaney is starting to make the hardwood his own in this fourth quarter. Another basket as a 3-point shot goes in here. Dawson Getz with his first triple of the game. A much-needed score for Pierre. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Governors. But it has been somewhat of a frustrating outing for Pierre, as they've had opportunities to score, had looks underneath the basket, but they just haven't been able to cash in on a couple occasions, and it's cost them. But game's not over yet. And a timeout taken by Craig Nelson before the inbound pass by Brandon Valley. No matter what, we're going to stick with the action live on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. If Brandon Valley wins this one, they'll play the winner of the 7-10 matchup, which we will learn the result of as quickly as we can. We'll keep an eye on all the South Dakota AA boys basketball scores. That would be the Lynx' 18th win of the season, move them to 16-3 in AA play, and put them back in the state tournament once again. Lynx are 4-0 against Pierre since Craig Nelson took over, and Pierre has not beaten this Brandon Valley squad at all since 2017. So it's been a tough bit of history for Pierre. They were trying to break a number of streaks today, but for whatever reason, the Lynx have always had Pierre's number, and it looks like that may continue here in Brandon, South Dakota today. Stay tuned on Capital City Rock, by the way. John Winkler on the call for girls state hockey tournament action. We will see the championship round decided today, and the Oahe Capitals will be competing for 3rd overall in the state in their consolation game. Make sure to check out all the action on Capital City Rock and the Capital City Rock Sports YouTube channel. Lynx on top 50-35, 2:21 to go in the 4th quarter, and Brandon Valley with the basketball. Up ahead to Braden Miller. Pierre using the full court press. Bounce pass up ahead to Landon Delaney. Gets rid of it to the opposite side. Miller goes right back to Delaney. Delaney up ahead, wide open is Grant Hennon, and he scores. Hennon now with 8, 52-35. Brandon Valley. Olsen in the post. Tried to go over to Getz and ended up bouncing to Aharts. Getz from beyond the arc right back to Olsen. Olsen spins one to Getz, and it's taken away by Hennon, trying to hold on to it, and then Getz ripped it out for a second ball, still loose. And a foul called, looks like against Pierre, and it may be against Getz. And it is Dawson Getz. He slapped the arm that time, according to the official. Brandon Valley will send in a couple substitutes as Gus Scott will check in. And it looks like Mason Ennis is in for the first time as well, as Hennon and McInerney head to the bench. Inbound pass Delaney, over left side to Zur. Now taken up by Gus Scott. And Delaney can hold on to this one for a bit. We'll see if Brandon Valley wants to choose some clock, or if Pierre ends up trying to intentionally foul in this situation. Doesn't look like they're going to, as that ball is going to bounce out of bounds. Last touch by Ennis. Pierre able to get a hand on it with Caden Aharts along the near sideline, right up against the Brandon Valley bench. Olsen with the basketball as the Brandon Valley student section getting hyped to see their team try to pull this one off here at home. Dawson Getz from the left side, steps back in the corner, fires up a 3, and he got it. Big shot for Dawson Getz, his 2nd triple of this 4th quarter. And Pierre gets another steal. Luke Olsen's got it. Olsen to the basket, he scores. And all of a sudden, it's a 12-point game. Brianna Kusler takes the timeout with 1:02 to go. Governors refusing to quit, showing that spirit of determination all the way to the bitter end, no matter the score. And the game not entirely over yet. This is going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one as well. 62 seconds to go in regulation. Pierre trying to become the first 15 seed to ever shock and upset a number 2 seed in SoDak 16 action, at least as far as my estimation goes. But it has been tough sledding for them for the majority of this game offensively. It really started in the 1st quarter. They just could not get open looks near the basket. They've had to rely on really brilliant cuts and deep shots to get any sort of consistency against Brandon Valley. And unfortunately, those kinds of shots are just not going to go in with regularity. And that's been what's been holding Pierre back to some degree in this game. But they've been able to adjust pretty well going into this final quarter. And if you take out some of the initial struggles, they've basically been neck and neck with the Lynx. And that's kind of been the story of the season for Pierre. They have shown flashes of brilliance time and time again, but as it's been on many nights, they just haven't been able to put it all together in this game yet. And they may not get another opportunity to this season. And that would be a shame with how talented this team is. And although the record says 6-14 and number 15 in South Dakota, this team is a lot better than that would indicate. As Olsen gets the steal, goes inside to Simmental, who puts it in. So the Governors force another steal, and they're starting to make Brandon Valley sweat a little bit. Olsen fouls quickly up against Aiden Zur that time. Simmental now has 11 total points in this game. Brandon Valley not quite yet in the bonus, so we'll see another inbound pass coming up here. But I'd say Pierre will try to quickly foul. That's what Simmental Looks like he may want to do, and that's intercepted by Aharts. Another turnover. Aharts for 3. Off the side of the iron, no good. Can't get the rebound. Hennon's got it. And another foul quickly committed by Pierre. Governors down by 10. Again, not quite in the bonus yet. It is Brandon Valley. Governors have committed 4 team fouls, or rather 3 team fouls in this, or no, it is 4 team fouls, excuse me, in this fourth quarter. So not quite yet at the bonus. We'll see if Pierre puts it in that point, and that's what looks like Olsen's trying to do. They still don't call a foul. It's going to go up ahead, and now officials stop play as they didn't reach half court in 10 seconds, so Pierre's going to get the ball back. Great work by Luke Olsen to force some pressure that time, and the Govs come up with it once again, but they got to score quickly. Olsen's got it left side, driving into the post, and he gets fouled on his way up. Foul's going to go against Gus Scott, it looks like, who is trying to guard the hard-charging Olsen, and when you run into a freight train at that speed, it's pretty hard to stop. And Olsen now with a chance to make it a single-digit basketball game. Pierre is charging hard late in this game. They are giving everything they have to try to shock the world late. As it looks like the Lynx are going to send in a substitute. Or no, actually that's not what's happening. Instead, it's Aiden Zur who is going to get some blood taken care of. Looks like he's got a little bit of blood on his right shoulder. So you can tell that the intensity and the passion is starting to, no pun intended, bleed out onto the floor. Got a little on his jersey as well. There have been some hard shots in this game, and it looks like Dawson Getz may need some help with that too. He's going to head over, and it looks like he's pointing to his right side. Not sure where that blood originated from, but he got a shot, and it's on his hand actually, and it's a pretty decent sized patch right there. And they're going to tape up his wrist. Going to give him the CM Punk look. So stoppage of play with 22.9 seconds to go. Suspended animation on the floor. And it looks like he and Zur made some contact on that last play. Ended up opening up Dawson Getz. Well, that just shows you how tough these players are. I said it before, but they're tougher than $2 stakes. They take some punishment, and they will happily go right back into the line of battle once again. Getz may have even got a little on his right knee. So a vicious shot. Glad to see that he's up and walking around no problem, but he is going to get subbed out here for Lincoln Dilgis, it looks like, at least momentarily. He'll go right back in just a moment. Meanwhile, back to the game, Luke Olsen will try to put in 2 from the free throw line, and he misses the first one. Governors will likely finish with a record of 6-15 on the season, but so much better than that record would indicate, and they've played so hard against some of the best teams in the state. No, that's not much consolation right now for them, as Gus Scott is quickly fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. Dawson Getz waiting to check back in, presumably for Dilgis, as we'll see Gus Scott, who hasn't been to the free throw line yet in this game, get an opportunity to all but put this one away for Brandon Valley and send them on to Rapid City in a couple weeks. And you wonder what that 2-week break for the Lynx will do for them, as Gus Scott makes his first point of the game. Getz will check back in for Dilgis. Again with that taped up, bandaged up right hand, and what will likely be his final basketball game as a Pierre Governor. And he's going to get the rebound with that taped hand, quickly gets it over to Olsen. 17 seconds to go in the fourth. Olsen spinning away, falling down, gets rid of it to Aharts. Aharts' runner is no good. Rebound collected by Delaney, who's fouled by Dawson Getz. And that'll send Delaney to the free throw line with 9.3 to go in the fourth quarter. That'll be Getz' 4th foul of this game. He's been a warrior tonight, folks. No question about it. And again, we'll have post-game stats as well as scores from across the state coming up here in just a moment on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Won't want to miss it as Delaney misses the first free throw, but what a game he's had so far. He has just found a way to put the Lynx in position and give them an opportunity time and time again to extend their lead. And when you have that kind of consistency, it's a huge asset. Misses both of them. Olsen grabs it, but he's not going to push up the floor. And we're going to wind this one to a close. This one belongs to the Lynx. The second-seeded Brandon Valley Lynx will move on to the state tournament in Rapid City in T-minus 2 weeks. And for your 15th-seeded Pierre Governors, the 2024-25 season comes to an end. What a hard-fought game by the Pierre Governors. A disappointing end of the year, but much like they've done all season long, they didn't quit until the clock hit 0-0-0. And although it's not what they were looking for, they got nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to hold their heads about. As emotion begins to pour out of these Pierre Governor players. Looks like they're going to get one more photo with each other before they're able to head back to the locker room. Luke Olsen shedding some tears on the hardwood. Nelson gets also a little emotional right now, and it's always a tough way to end the season for any squad, but this Pierre Governor team, they'll be known simply as Warriors, and they proved it night in and night out this season. Didn't always get the results they wanted, but they always left it all on the floor, and that's something that I think we can all agree with. Final score, Brandon Valley 53, Pierre Governors 42. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. We'll have post-game stats as well as scores from across the state of South Dakota in just a little bit. We'll be back in 3 minutes right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere.
Has it been years since you've been to the dentist? Are you afraid to see a dentist? If so, you are among many people who feel this way. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer of Missouri River Dentistry. At our office, we pride ourselves as an office that uses a personal touch to offer gentle dentistry, tailored to fit each patient's needs. We do so by utilizing state-of-the-art equipment and methods which allow the patients to feel comfortable. So whether it has been many years or 6 months since your last dental visit, your oral health is important. We invite you to call us at Missouri River Dentistry, 223-2021, 223-2021.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Your final score from Brandon Valley High School, the Brandon Valley Lynx winning 53-42 over the 15th seeded Pierre Governors. Dylan Simmons on the call with you. And Brandon Valley in 2 weeks' time will play in the state tournament. They make it to the Final 8 for yet another season. Let's go over some post-game stats for your Pierre Governors. They were led in scoring by a sensational game from Eladio Simmental. Ends up with 11 total points, one of his best performances of the season. He was joined by Sawyer Sonnenschein with 6 points. Dawson Getz had a total of 9 points, a couple triples and 3 free throws for him. Carter Shovelbein had a free throw. Lincoln Dilgis had 4 first half points, and Luke Olson ends his sensational Pierre Governors career with a total of 9 points for the Pierre Governors. So Simmental, Getz, and Olson end up becoming the star players of the day, but just unable to put themselves over the edge. And you got to give credit where credit is due to this Brandon Valley defense. They did a great job of limiting Pierre's star players all game long, and it was enough in the end to put them over the edge. And they've got Narco blaring over the speakers here in Brandon. The Lynx were led in scoring by Landon Delaney, and boy, what a game he had. A total of 16 points for number 5. Lead all scorers in this one. Aiden Zur was not too shabby in his own right. 11 points for Brandon Valley. Lincoln McInerney had 6 points in the first quarter, ended up with 8 total. Grant Hennon as well with 8. Mock Mahan with 2, and Gus Scott with 1 for Brandon Valley. On their way to 53 total against Pierre's 42. And interestingly enough, it's the exact same point differential that we saw the first time these two teams played, as the Governors lost by 11 to Brandon Valley last time as well in this venue. Same story this time around. The score then was 68-57 though. Now it's 53-42. So the Pierre defense did a much better job of limiting Brandon Valley, but the offense just was not able to put together enough consistency to match the Lynx offense on this day. But as I said before the break, they have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to hang their heads about. They played a heck of a game today. They just didn't get the breaks that they needed to. Didn't quite have the offensive consistency they needed to. But they played a heck of a game and played a heck of a season as well. And the thing about it is that for these younger players, this is a game that you remember, and although it is disappointing, you can take a lot of lessons away from this. And that sense of failure, that sense of we didn't get the job done, it can fuel you. And for some of these juniors and sophomores, it may very well do just that in the future as they look ahead to 2026 and beyond here for Pierre Governors basketball. We're going to take another 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll see if we can have Brianna Kusler on for one more post-game interview this season for Pierre Governors basketball. We'll be right back on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel in 3.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Capital City Ford, Lincoln, Toyota, and Pierre, where exceptional customer service meets an incredible inventory lineup. Looking for your dream car? Our expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. From dependable Fords to luxurious Lincolns and versatile Toyotas, we have something for every taste, need, and budget. Experience the difference with us today. Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potseva and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Ferding Electric and their team of electricians have been serving the electrical needs of Central South Dakota for over 60 years. For fast, dependable service, call Ferding Electric. For free estimates, commercial, residential, and farm wiring, you'll find a large selection of light bulbs, including the hard-to-find fluorescent bulbs. Ferding Electric at 2903 East Elizabeth Street in Pierre. They'll do the job right the first time. Call 605-224-8684. Ferding Electric, 605-224-8684.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons joining you. Our scoreboard presented by American Family Insurance and the Brittany Shovelbein Agency, as the Brandon Valley Lynx are cutting down the net in their home gymnasium after securing their spot in the state tournament coming up in a couple weeks' time. And now we see Craig Nelson, the head coach, cutting down his piece of the net and getting ready to bring the whole thing down, we would presume, in mere moments. Governors fall to 6-15 on the season to end out the 2024-25 season. As a matter of fact, Governors went 2-7 on the road throughout the season. They'll drop to 2-8 in road games. Govs were 0-11 against teams above 500, and unfortunately they were not able to break that today. Governors came in with the second most points per game given up in AA statistically, but in this game, their defense played one of their better games all season, and they've proven that they can do that on multiple occasions. If you'll remember back to that road game against Mitchell in the Corn Palace about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had the exact same point total. They gave up 53 to Mitchell in that game, ended up losing by only 9. So Pierre has proven that they can hang with some of the better teams in the state. They just weren't able to put together all the pieces against those opponents, and sometimes you got to learn a little bit about yourself before you can truly go over the top, and you wonder if those younger players can learn from what happened this season and use that to their advantage next season. Always curious to see how teams respond after a tough and disappointing season, or excuse me, season results to some degree, and we'll see if Pierre is able to do just that in the 2025-26 basketball season. Lynx will play the winner of the 7 versus 10 matchup. We will try to get results on that as soon as we can. Looking at some of the results from across the state in South Dakota AA. Of course, this game with Brandon Valley winning 53-42. For some other scores, we've got Aberdeen Christian beating Wabash Summit 49-22. Looking for AA scores, we have Jefferson beating Washington by a score of 58-48. So the Cavaliers will advance on to the state tournament and upset Washington in a little bit of a stunner, but not a super surprising one for those in the know. Mitchell defeats Brookings 48-30 as well, so the defending state champions will get a chance to defend their crown in Rapid City. And of course, looking back at some girls' results for last night, Stevens defeating Huron by a score of 78-35. Roosevelt losing to Spearfish by a score of 53-45. Washington defeating T 59-41. O'Gorman fell Sturgis Brown 56-32 in girls varsity action as well. Those are all the AA results that we have for the moment, and of course, as more of those come in, we will get those to you as soon as we can here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. And we will also try to get you an updated look at the South Dakota State Tournament bracket. John Winkler will have that for you likely on Monday, both on the KCCR Morning Show and on KCCRradio.com. We're going to take one more 3-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up our final post-game show of the year for Pierre Governors boys basketball, and we'll do that in just 3 minutes' time. Stay tuned right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Back in 3.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. Same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Welcome back here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Dylan Simmons with you. Final score here from Brandon Valley High School. The Lynx win 53-42 over the 15th seeded Pierre Governors. Now joined by head coach Brianna Kustler for the final time this season. A little bit bittersweet, coach, but tough loss today for you guys, but the players fought with everything they had, and you could see that with how they played on the hardwood.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at last week, the team that was giving up 70-plus in a few different games to hold this team to 53. It just shows that heart that they brought the entire game. And, I mean, they battled all game long. And it was, I mean, you can never fault their effort by any means. It was, unfortunately, tonight, it just came down to them scoring more buckets than us and putting the ball through the hoop a couple more times. And, you know, I think that, I mean, what we leave with today is unfortunately not a berth to the state tournament, but it's an incredible group of young men who are going to go and impact the world in a lot of different ways. That
they certainly are, Coach. Now, it felt like before, early on in the game, that you were able to limit them on defense quite a bit, like you mentioned. They only scored a total of 53 points, and this is a team that's got one of the better offenses in the state. How are you guys able to do that in your mind?
It took a whole team effort. You know, they were all engaged. They were all ready to go. I mean, they took the entire week and really embrace the challenge of we've got to get better defensively. And I thought our presence on the glass was great. We cleared the glass well. It was a situation, you know, where down the stretch we're taking some risks to try and get the buckets that we needed to claw our way back, and they got a couple easy buckets in transition. But you know, the effort was there the entire time. It was they again put the ball through the hoop a couple more times than us, unfortunately.
As far as offense goes, Brandon Valley was able to lock you guys down to some degree early, but it felt like as the game progressed, you guys were able to adjust pretty well and start to find some holes in their defense. What did you guys see later on that allowed you to get more success down the stretch on their good defense?
Yeah, I mean, they had a good game plan coming into this. They knew that, we rely on Luke's ability to penetrate and find guys opening that are either cutting or kickouts to shooters. They limited Dawson's ability to release. And I found, you know, when we found scramble opportunities later on in the game, it was a matter of us being able to locate those guys and free them up just a little bit. But, you know, a big credit. Brandon Valley is a very disciplined team. We knew that coming in, and it was they made some plays happen and were, I mean, solid defensively like they always are. And so, you know, it was just a little too late for us, unfortunately. But again, that effort that was there, it was something that we never doubted all the time. It was always there, and it was always something that, again, these kids that I get to have the opportunity to coach every single day. I wish everybody got that opportunity, because it's a really big blessing that I get these guys in my life, and they've certainly taught me a heck of a lot more than I could ever teach them, and that's something that I'll carry forward for the rest of my life.
And I was about to say, Coach, despite the loss today, you know, and you've already expressed it, how proud of you are of these young men, even despite the loss, how they fought all the way through the season. What can you say about them and their effort?
Yeah, there's been different adversities that they've had to overcome, and you know, it's so many things that take place behind the scenes that nobody else sees, but we live it every day. And you know, I feel like they just really came together and found a way every single time, whether it was a win or a loss the night before. They were ready to go the next day. They were eager to find an opportunity to get themselves better, and that was that steady improvement that we felt like we had all year long, and it just unfortunately wasn't enough. And there's going to be those times in life where it's not enough. But what I know that these boys carry away from this is who they are as human beings and who they're capable of being beyond a basketball player, and that their character and how they conduct themselves is something that we're tremendously proud of. And these 6 seniors, the legacy that they leave is all very unique, but it's all very impactful, and it's improved every single person around them, and that's something that not everybody today can say that they do. And I feel very, very proud of the 6 guys that we will lose to graduation, and who they're going to go and be in the real world, because our lives are better because of who they are as human beings.
Well said, Coach. Wise words. It's been a pleasure this season. Looking forward to more in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That's Brianna Kusler here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel for the final time this season. And now we're going to have Luke Olson head on by, and what a phenomenal season he had. What a great job he's done all year long. And what a great job by the coach as well. She talked about it briefly on the interview, and well, not even briefly, like for a pretty decent amount of time, just how special and important this group has been, just how great they've been, and they absolutely have been. They've been a fun group to watch, and although the result wasn't what we were looking for today, there is no amount of gratitude and respect that can be said to suffice how much we respected these Pierre Governors this season and their ability to go out and perform time and time again. And they certainly showed it in this afternoon's game. Not the result they wanted, but warriors for sure for this Pierre Governors basketball team. Well, as far as boys basketball goes, that's going to do it for the 2024-25 season. We will be back on Thursday, though, in Rapid City for girls basketball action as the Pierre Governors take on the Brandon Valley Lynx. It'll be 2 versus 7 in Rapid City as the girls continue their quest for a state championship. We'll have all that action coming up on Thursday, but for today, that's going to do it. So for Emma back at the station, for all of you listening in, I am Dylan Simmons saying so long from Brandon, where the final score is Brandon Valley, number 2 seed 53, and number 15 seeded Pierre 42. This has been a presentation of KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station. We'll see you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Pierre Governor Basketball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. The Pierre Governors are brought to you by State Farm Insurance Becky Potsuba Agency, the American of Fort Pierre, Bank West, Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Birding Electric, Gales Gas, American Family Insurance Brittany Schaffelbein Agency, CHS River Plains, First Dakota National Bank, Shane's Pharmacy, Missouri River Dentistry, Kruger Contracting, Edward Jones Financial, Lamb Motor, Owyhee Federal Credit Union, Todd's Electric, and the South Dakota Office of Attorney General Division of Consumer Protection. Join us next time for Pierre Governor Basketball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront